Tonight, the opposition New Patriotic Party is rallying behind the minority's call, demanding full accountability for the reported multi-billion cedi losses under the domestic gold purchase program, insisting the questions surrounding the program must be answered fully, publicly, and under parliamentary scrutiny.
Use every relevant law in the books, every question on the floor of Parliament, every committee hearing, every request for document, every order paper, every point of order. Utilize every relevant tool provided by the standing orders in our Parliament with confidence.
Top Story is brought to you by Telecel. Connecting Energy is holy insecticide spray and coil. Enjoy a holy sleep shield pension trust into the future with you. So what form should this probe take to be credible? When we return from the break, we speak to the opposition NPP and the governing NDC. See you in a moment.
If I become a millionaire, I will put a huge billboard right next to my ex's house saying, look at me now, I hate it.
As for me, I'm quitting my job in staff. Me too, I hate it.
Telecel is making millionaires this season. Not one, not two,
but 3 millionaires.
Each month, one lucky Telecel customer wins 1 million Ghana cedi for the next 3 months in the Telecel My Hits It promo. Plus, you still get to win 20,000 Ghana cedis weekly, and 100 Ghana cedis daily. Bundle 10 Ghana cedis, time or data. Top up your Telecel cash wallet or your fixed broadband to stand a chance of winning. Visit the Telecel Play app or dial *500# to opt in for free into the Telecel My Hits It promo.
Telecel, connecting energies.
This promo is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas Lottery platform.
Ade. Couldn't sleep at night. Mosquitoes will be whining my ears, bugging me all night long. Till I got a remedy. Now I'll be spraying them away with holy insecticide spray. Me I go spray them away with holy insecticide spray. When I sleep, me dana mada with holy insecticide spray.
Holy mosquito coil, holy multi-purpose insecticide spray. Ghana Kron Kron. For bulk purchase, call 0302 681582. This advert is FDA approved.
Syntax Tango! Syntax, hey, tough, very strong. If you want quality, this be where you belong. Syntax, hey, tough, very strong. Oh, Ghana shout and sing the song. When the sun they hot, Syntax no break. When the rain they fall, still no shake. Builders they choose and plumbers they prove. Any project you they start.
Palladium Residences in Achimota isn't just an address, it's the home you've truly earned. Secure your place with just a 10% deposit and choose from beautifully designed modern apartments or spacious townhouses built for everyday comfort. This is more than a building. It's a vibrant curated community with a clubhouse, state-of-the-art gym and an on-site hotel, all at ABC Junction, minutes from Achimota Mall. Enjoy city energy whilst retreating to your private sanctuary. Call now to reserve your unit and benefit from limited launch incentives, including priority unit selection. Don't miss the chance to pick the best homes. Book your private site visit today. Call 050-9823-424. Palladium Residences. Live smart, invest better.
Good evening. This is Top Story. My name is Kenneth. Gyasi. 1.7 billion US dollars, 22 billion Ghana cedis. Whatever currency you count it in, the opposition NPP says the loss under the gold purchase program is too big to bury. The NPP is now in full battle mode as it backs the minority's demand that Parliament must investigate, interrogate and account for every ounce and every cedi. The party says it will not let the reported 22 billion cedis loss be explained away in press statements. It wants it probed on the floor of Parliament under oath and in public. Speaker Alban Bagbin has signaled he will allow the minority's motion for a probe into the losses. Let's listen to the Speaker on the floor of the House.
In the motion filed, which was received in my office on the 21st 21st of August 2026, just 3 days ago, that it got to my office. I have gone through the motion myself, and I intend to admit the motion because we have to at least have an end to litigation. As to whether it's a loss or it's a cost, this House will have the opportunity to go through it. And please, Ghanaians are very intelligent people. They will listen, they will read in between the lines, and they will make their decisions.
Alban Bagbin is Speaker of Parliament. We've also been hearing from the NPP leadership, which says it is solidly behind Minority Leader Alexander Afenyo-Markin, who is leading the charge over the reported $1.7 billion loss. Addressing journalists earlier today, national organizer of the opposition party, Henry Nana Boakye, says the minority must leave no stone unturned.
Let me say this boldly and plainly, that the entire leadership of the new Patriotic Party, including the presidential candidate, we are fully behind the minority. On behalf of the entire new Patriotic Party, there is no confusion anywhere. We are fully behind the mighty minority. The new Patriotic Party stands fully, completely, and unreservedly behind our mighty minority caucus in Parliament, led by Honorable Alexander Afenyo-Markin. We wholeheartedly support each member of our minority caucus in this struggle. We back their questions, we back their scrutiny, we back their demand for full, transparent account of how a state institution charged with buying and protecting Ghana's gold ended up presiding over such huge losses of this magnitude. This is not partisan politics. This is a national duty. Whoever governs this country is answerable to the people who elected them. They are answerable to every dollar of the people's money that passes through their hands. And let me be equally plain about what comes next. We are not backing off, not now, not tomorrow, not until every question is answered in full and in public and under proper scrutiny. We also say this to the minority leader and every member of the caucus. Use every relevant law in the books, every question on the floor of Parliament, every committee hearing, every request for documents, every order paper, every point of order. Utilize every relevant tool provided by the standing orders in our Parliament with confidence. The Parliament belongs to the people of Ghana, not to the convenience of whoever is in the office. Make sure you are very strong in the committee, very strong on the floor of Parliament. Fight for the people of Ghana in the court of public opinion as well. Fight until the Ghanaian people receive all the answers they deserve, in writing, under oath if necessary. The new Patriotic Party remain vigilant. Our minority caucus will not look away. We call on every Ghanaian watching, listening, and reading this today. Do not look away either. Demand your own answers. Demand truth.
Henry Nana Boakye is the national organizer of the new Patriotic Party. Meanwhile, the incoming majority leader, James Agalga, says his side does not have a preference on how Parliament will arrive at the facts. He spoke on PM Express last night.
If you ask me, I would even tell you that all the issues that have so far come up, right, you can find answers to all the questions that have already been raised. One in the Auditor General's report, which is there. It's dated 2025. The accounts expenditure of the GoldBod was carefully audited, and there is a report. Now, you also have the agreement between the Precious Minerals Marketing Company and the Bank of Ghana, which is dated 2023, together with its addendum, I think, which is dated 2025. Those documents are there, as well as the IMF report itself. So all the answers that have been, questions that have been, you find answers in those documents. But you see, in order to satisfy the curiosity of the minority, look, an ad hoc committee can be established. If Mr. Speaker is of the view that let the Public Accounts Committee deal with the matter and finish the House with a report, so be it.
So you don't have a preference on how you're writing?
No.
Other facts?
No.
That's the incoming majority leader, James Ogaga there. Let's still stay in Parliament and speak to our resident correspondent, Kweku Asante. Kweku, has the Speaker given directives on which committee will probe this matter?
The Speaker has not been around. Today he was not in the chair when Parliament sat. But admitting the motion is only the first part of the story. It still has to come up for a debate. The Speaker of Parliament, under the standing orders, obviously can refer a matter to committees or a special committee to investigate. That is not the path the minority have gone on. The minority have filed the motion, which obviously means the House of Parliament will have to take a decision. And so the first part is the Speaker having to admit that motion. When the Speaker admits the motion, it will be listed on the other paper, and then it will be scheduled for a debate. When the debate do happen, members will have to vote on that motion to agree to the demands of the motion or not. You will recall that in the past, the minority have tried and failed in a similar attempt to investigate similar issues having to do with GoldBod, in particular last year. So that is the first part of the story, the Speaker admitting it. And the Speaker has admitted in the insert you've played that he intends to admit that motion. However, that decision will not be taken. The decision particularly having to do with debating that motion will not be done within these 5 days emergency sitting that Parliament is sitting, and that will be done in the regular sitting in October when the House reconvenes substantively. Already you heard also from the incoming majority leader, who will be majority leader at that time, that they do not really have a preference for that. The expectation is that within the vacation, when they do, the caucus will firm up a position. What exactly do they want to do? Will they repeat the earlier stance and block this and insist that perhaps the already existing standing and select committees must deal with this? That is open for debate, and the majority side will have to come at a conclusion. But the Speaker admitting the motion is only the first part of the story, Ken.
And how are the minority members reacting to the Speaker's decision to admit the motion?
Well, that was last night when the Speaker of Parliament, in welcoming members to the emergency sitting, indicated that he intended to do so. You will clearly see that the minority MPs are excited about it, because part of the challenge, I should say, that the minority have had with their motion sometimes has been the outright rejection of the motion by the Speaker of Parliament, because, according to the Speaker, they do not meet the rules or they were not couched properly. A couple of their motions have been rejected in a similar fashion. So this is really a fresh breath for the minority, because then they're able to move to the next stage of debating it on the floor substantively and trying to convince their colleagues on the other side to join them to vote and agree to do so. If the majority side do not have an issue with it, it will sail through. The nature of the setting of the committee itself will now be debated, but also the numbers on the committee. Mind you, the majority currently have up close to 3-1 when it comes to the numbers in Parliament. They have 188 MPs, while the minority side have 87. So even in setting up the committee, the numbers will definitely be in favor of the majority side, particularly when it comes to the numbers. So the minority clearly happy about the Speaker's admonition and the Speaker's insistence that this is something he's going to admit. They just have to scale the other part of the hurdle.
Okay, and what else is happening in Parliament today?
It's been a rather brief day of sitting. The members of Parliament did a couple of tributes to fallen persons, particularly the Tolon Paramount Chief who passed on, and also a very stalwart of the NDC also. I'm not relating that to the Tolon Paramount Chief. I'm talking about two different statements, one on the Tolon Paramount Chief and another on a stalwart of the NDC. Those statements were done. MPs have now adjourned for tomorrow when they're expected to work on the bill having to do with the banks and specialized deposit-taking institutions. Then on Thursday, the much focus will be on the vetting. Then on Friday, those nominees will be brought to the floor for a debate and a vote, and then MPs will go back to continue their recess.
Kweku Asante reports to us from Parliament. Thank you, Kweku. Haruna Mohammed is the Deputy General Secretary of the NPP. He's joining me on the telephone lines right now. Haruna, welcome to the program. Kojo Oponin-Nkrumah and 4 other MPs, as we all have become aware right now, have filed an ad hoc committee motion citing several articles and standard orders. So why does the minority believe that the existing Public Accounts Committee, which already has oversight of state losses, isn't equipped to handle this particular matter?
Thank you very much, Kenneth. I would like to say good evening to your terrorist listeners and viewers. I believe that in a democratic process, there are so many ways in which you'll be able to address a particular problem. And if you look at the parliamentary procedure, filing an agent motion for an investigation or a bipartisan investigation on matters is very relevant to the parliamentary process. And that is why this members of parliament has clearly triggered this for Parliament to take it very serious, because no institution or no government will try as much as possible to set up bodies or corporations to be running into losses, more especially when those particular losses are very critical and matter to the people of Ghana. So it is proper for them to have filed that, and then Parliament will necessarily look at those particular ones. Much as there is Public Accounts Committee to look at audited reports in terms of some of these particular things that comes out, most definitely too, there are other reports that comes in that does not go to the Public Accounts Committee. For example, the IMF report doesn't go to the Public Accounts Committee. The Public Accounts Committee deals necessarily with the audit report of the Republic of Ghana. So I believe that in the right processes and right procedures that has been put in, the members of Parliament are spot on to have applied for such a process to be taken in Parliament.
You held a press conference earlier today, fronted by the national organizer of your party, Henry Nana Boakye, and you were categorical. You support the minority in Parliament in their pursuit for answers. But GoldBod, on the other hand, has continuously maintained that the IMF report did not attribute the losses directly to GoldBod's own operations. So why is the NPP backing the claim by the minority that these losses were as a result of GoldBod?
Kenneth, I'm an accounting practitioner. When an account is being rendered, and you look at where the account has been rendered, every account has a footnote. The footnote will tell you the original or the origination of those particular costs or expenditure that is related to. If you read the report very carefully, you would know that Bank of Ghana does not engage in such an activity lawfully in this country. Now, as we said, it is GoldBod that is in charge of buying and selling of goods. And those particular losses that has happened, whether accounting losses or transaction losses, is going to be related to the body that has been responsible for that. Why has there been a transfer of cost burden that is given to the Bank of Ghana? And who causes the cost for it to be related to them? So if such a cost is being occasioned, and per the laws and the guidelines that are procedures that have been put in, the loss is attributed to the Bank of Ghana, but in its right senses, somebody created the loss. So we should be interested in who created the loss. And if you go and pick the Bank of Ghana note, the cost or the loss that has been accumulated will tell you where it is coming from. And if you read the report of Bank of Ghana, it tells you the cost accumulation, where, and the necessary ingredients that causes the cost. And when you go and read it very carefully, you realize that it is coming from GoldBod. And if it is coming from GoldBod, as citizens of Ghana, we have the right to question why such an institution is always running us into losses. We have the right to question. And that is why the members of Parliament have questioned that, and the party is coming out to back the members of Parliament in the fullest time for investigation to be conducted into that, so that we'll be able to get to the bottom of the matter.
Well, the GoldBod CEO, Sami Gyasi, has also accused the minority leader of extortion in relating to this matter. Has the NPP as a party investigated these allegations internally against your minority leader?
You see, Sami Gyasi accuses somebody. You see, let me give you this analogy. And I am giving you an example. A thief steals money. Then the thief is accused of stealing money. The thief stops by and says that this person has asked for money from me. Then all of a sudden, everybody stopped chasing the thief, and they are now looking for the person he has stood and accused. I don't think that this state should be reduced to where it is. We are talking about a loss, or a loss that has been occasioned by a certain institution. Somebody stops to tell you that somebody has come to him or asked for an extortion. The laws of this country is against the one that requests and the one that gives. Why is everybody talking about the accusation that Sami Gyasi has given? And we as a political party, we have sat down to analyze this, because the message should be as good as the messenger. And in this particular circumstance, Sami Gyasi is not a good messenger. We all know in this country, he has peddled untruths. He has accused so many people in this country that it is not true. And such a person coming out to say what he is saying, and you expect us, a political party as NPP, to believe him? We cannot believe him, because he's not a good messenger, and the message he gives lacks credibility. So for us, it's nothing that we are going to consider, because Osahini Afenyomakin is a respected member of parliament, a respected lawyer, a member of this party who has performed creditably well, so that I don't think that anybody can use such information to bring him down. And that is what we don't intend to discuss, because what he has said has no merit, and I don't think that we should give it a sunshine. We will continue to pursue investigation. We will continue to pursue for accountability. We will pursue this to the end, and will ensure that the right thing is being done.
And now you're calling for the setting up of an ad hoc committee to investigate this particular matter. Is the NPP as a party willing to accept the outcome of that investigation, should it go ahead?
Yes, the committee should have to be set up and go ahead to conduct the investigation. When the investigation also comes out, we have the right to interrogate the report of the investigators and also have our opinion on it. Because as you set up investigation bodies, what they bring are supposed to also be interrogated, because they don't need to go and sit down and write anything. They have to go and do a thorough job and report back. So much as they will be bringing the report, doesn't mean that we are just accepting the report as it is. If the report is questionable, we'll question the report.
That means that if the report does not conform to your allegations, you're going to question the report. Is that what you're trying to say?
If the report does not conform to the truth and the right procedures, we'll question the procedure and question the outcome of the report.
That's quite interesting there. You say, and you have maintained and repeatedly by a number of members within your political party, that this loss, $1.7 billion loss, falls squarely on the doorstep of GoldBod. But we know that this gold purchase program administration, it predates the GoldBod as an institution, and we incurred $400 million loss the previous year with the same gold purchasing program. Is that also to say that those losses were not incurred by the Bank of Ghana but by the erstwhile PMMC, if you're going by the analogy you're giving us?
In every institution that you run, we do know that losses do happen, but the pattern in which and the quantum in which those particular losses happen is where the questions comes in. The 400 million you are talking about, if you go back to read the book, it is an accumulation that has been put together. But within the space of 1 year, just 1 year, 1.7 billion. Is it no more than the 400 million? The quantum.
But gold outputs
is it
also
more than
gone up
400 million?
Significantly, Haruna, gold outputs have also gone up significantly, haven't they?
But the point is that you look at the period in which the gold that we have been able to accumulate is far ahead of what they have done in terms of reserve, and you know it.
Right. So my question still hasn't been
answered.
You know it.
So if we have been able to accumulate a reserve to a certain number, and they have just come within the space of 1 year to sell that particular gold out at a cost and go and buy it at higher than what they have even got, what they have sold out, and come and tell us that they have incurred a loss of 1.7 billion just within 1 year, it's questionable. That is why somebody used to say that if you are selling charcoal, your hands will be black. But when your hair is black, it's questionable because you don't use your hair to fetch the charcoal.
Well, other arguments being made by a section of the majority in Parliament and outside Parliament as well, some NDC members, is that even if this loss was incurred by the Bank of Ghana, of course it's an established fact that it was incurred by the Bank of Ghana, at least according to the IMF. This was a positive loss because it contributed immensely to the economic output of this country. Inflation is down, the macroeconomic indicators are all looking positive. Is that not a good thing?
It's not good because I cannot sell my produce. I'm a farmer. I can't sell my soybeans. I can't sell my maize. I cannot go back to farm the same acreage. All these things doesn't fit into my farm. I can't buy woody side. I was farming 230 acres. This year I farm 120 acres. How good is those particular indicators? Go and ask farmers out there. Go to the north. Ask farmers. Go to the south. Ejura, Atebo, Bunu, Ise. Go and ask the farmers. If you go and tell them this, Kenneth, you won't get back to multimedia.
Well, that's the argument that is being made, not from me. Haruna, do I have you?
I didn't hear you.
I said that's the argument that is being made, not
yes,
from
I'm
me
with you.
In particular.
Yes, because it's a flawed argument. If you say inflation is down, if you say interest rates are down, I am a farmer. I have farmed soybeans. I cannot sell. 2 years I can't sell. My maize I cannot sell. I can't go back and farm the same acreage. I can't buy woody side. I can't buy fertilizer. I'm a farmer. Then you are telling me interest rate is down. Inflation is down. Do I take inflation to the farm? Go and ask the ordinary farmer. Take your cameras. Let them go. Let Martina Bugri go to the north. Go and tell the farmer that this is down and he can buy woody side from it. She will report something to you. Because the farmer is not happy. The ordinary citizen out there is not happy. The market women out there, they are not happy. It does not reflect. You can't go to the bank and do a transaction of $10,000 or $2,000. It's been capped. Why are we injecting to sustain an interest rate? Why are we injecting to sustain a foreign currency that we are doing today? We are spending so much cost to maintain that. And they are telling us that it's stable. How stable is that particular foreign currency? It is not. So let us stop this thing and then face the reality. The NPP could have also pumped in such money to skip it. We are spending so much to keep it. Ask them how much as they are spending to keep that particular dollar at that particular rate. It includes the 1.7 billion. And that is why we are complaining. 1.7 billion is almost equal to what we went to the IMF for. And that is what we should be complaining about. And that is what we should be worried about.
Haruna Mohammed, glad you could join me this evening. He's the Deputy General Secretary of the new Patriotic Party. And that brings us to News 90. Gemma is standing by with the headlines. Gemma?
Incoming Majority Leader James Agalga is pushing for a full comprehensive probe into Ghana's domestic gold purchase program from inception to date.
Yes, so in order for you to have a global picture of what has happened over the period, I mean, it's important for you to go down memory lane.
Also, Ghanaians and road safety experts are hailing government's planned September rollout of Traffic, a new automated traffic enforcement system they say could be the game changer in tackling road carnage and corruption on the country's roads.
The traffic lights, most of the major junctions are not working.
They use their own mind to tell whether you have crossed the road or not. They charge you for things that is your word against them.
Ashanti Regional Security Council begins reclaiming abandoned illegal mining pits across the region after more than 20 people, including children, lost their lives in the death traps.
Set of research within the period under review, 23 lives have been lost only because they were going to their farms and fell within pits that were left uncovered by miners within the various areas.
Details shortly. And later in the bulletin, the National Science and Maths Quiz is back tomorrow. 27 seeded giants, 54 hungry challengers, one battle. Later in business.
Finance Minister Dr. Atuforsen affirms commitment to fiscal discipline despite room for more borrowing due to reduction in debt dynamics.
In sports,
the countdown is on and it's 4 days to the 2026 Joy Sports Invitational.
And later on your say.
Who gets a say and who visits you at home when you're renting? The Rent Control Department has weighed in, but some tenant and even a landlord we spoke to are not buying it.
Me, I have multiple male friends especially, and I'm renting and they're telling me that because I'm bringing a lot of people, you are sacking me.
Well, remember, you can be a part of the conversation and share your thoughts on all our stories on X with the hashtag Newsnight or by text or voice note via WhatsApp number 055-1111-997. Do keep them brief, straight to the point, and within 20 seconds.
Details now. Incoming Majority Leader James Agalga is pushing for a full comprehensive probe into Ghana's domestic gold purchase program from inception to date. His demand follows a motion by the Minority Caucus seeking a parliamentary inquiry into reported losses and the summoning of GoldBod CEO Sami Gyamfi to account for the transactions. But speaking on PM Express, the Bosa North MP argued that any probe limited to 2025 would be incomplete and misleading. He says Parliament must trace the program back to its origin and scrutinize how gold was bought under previous administrations as well.
As a result of the domestic gold purchase program, which was designed to show up our currency, the performance of our currency against the dollar. It was a deliberate government policy. So we had to spend money, the Bank of Ghana had to spend money to achieve those objectives, right? So today nothing has changed. The IMF report itself says the only thing which has changed is that under this government we have scaled up the domestic gold purchase program as compared to its scale under the previous administration.
So you want to extend the time?
I mean, those are the proposals, so that we can have a global picture.
So you're not limited, because from what I understand, this motion that has been submitted by the minority focuses on 2025? Correct?
Yes. Yes. So in order for you to have a global picture of what has happened over the period, I mean, it's important for you to go down memory lane.
So you had incoming Majority Leader James Agalga. Let's go to the phone line and speak to MP for Swami John Darko on the issue. Welcome to the bulletin. So before we get to John Darko, let's speak to Dr. Rashid Draman. He's Executive Director for Africa Center for Parliamentary Affairs. Welcome to the bulletin. What do you make of James Agalga's his statement that the probe should be extended to cover the losses incurred under the Eswell administration? Hello, Dr. Rashid, are you on the line to us? Unfortunately, we do not have Dr. Rashid Draman on the line to us. Once we get him, we'll bring you that interview.
Moving on to other stories this evening, a road safety and mobility expert Osei Kofor says the planned rollout of a new traffic monitoring technology, Traffic, which detects road traffic violations through cameras and sends offenders evidence of the offences and the corresponding penalties directly to their phones, is a step in the right direction. Kofor, who is the executive director of the Road Lines Foundation, believes the system will help reduce the carnage on Ghana's roads. We can hear from the Interior Minister, Mohammed Muntaka Mubarak, who provides details on how the system will work. He spoke at the Government Accountability Series.
We are currently rolling out the Traffic Check. So you cross a red line, you then receive a text message. You cross a red line at Sawam traffic, and at this time, and this is you, show you the evidence, and then show you what to do, how to pay the offense. If you fail to then pay, then now we'll go after you. The police will no longer come and ask to bring your driving license. They will not come on the road. IDP has already announced that. The cameras have already captured. When this case starts, they are not going to keep their old ways of doing things.
Mohammed Muntaka Mubarak is the Minister for the Interior. Well, some Ghanaians are also hailing the initiative, saying, among other things, it will help eliminate corruption on Ghana's roads and reduce road crashes.
Ghana here, there are supposed to be some kind of tooling on the road. The traffic lights, most of the major junctions are not working. So if it is not working and then I cross, then the camera picks up my details. You understand where I'm coming from? So for us to implement this well, we have to also look at the roads, the junctions, the traffic lights, and the road markings. Those are the important things now.
I think it's a great idea because most of them standing by the roadside, they use their own mind to tell whether you have crossed the road or not. And they charge you for things that is your word against them. And if there's a camera evidence, it's easy. Everybody knows that, hey, you're chill.
Those people, I'm working with them, with my drivers, always I encourage them to do whatever is right.
Well, what do you also think about the new innovation on our roads? You can be part of the show by sending us a WhatsApp on 055 11 11 997. You can as well send us a voice note, make it as brief as 30 seconds.
Let's go back to our earlier story where I told you the incoming majority leader, James Agalga, is pushing for a full comprehensive probe into Ghana's domestic gold purchase program from inception to date. Dr. Rashid Rahman is Executive Director for Africa Center for Parliamentary Affairs. He joins me via Zoom now. Welcome to News 9. I want to first get your reaction to James Agalga's statement. He is pushing or calling for a full comprehensive probe into the losses dating back to the inception of the program.
Yes, I think that is what would give Ghanaians a comprehensive picture of this whole issue. And I believe when he says right from inception, he means, not limited to only when the GoldBod was set up. Because I think there's been a lot of banter, NDC, NPP, losses were made in the past and this and that. I think as a country, and given our station in development, and if you think about how much money we normally run to donors to go and ask in terms of development support, it pales in comparison to the amounts of money that we are hearing being lost through some of these programs. So a comprehensive and transparent, full-scale kind of examination would do our country a lot of good.
But is Parliament the right institution to probe this matter? Looking at how politicized the situation has been, the minority has a stance on it, the majority as well. Will we be able to get to the bottom of the matter, looking at the situation we are having now?
Well, I think for me, I have said in the past few days that a very good approach to dealing with this might be one that would see a committee set up that includes some eminent Ghanaians, so that at the end of the day, it's not because, when you set up a committee of parliament, it's still going to be made up of these two sides. And already kind of positions have been taken. NDC is going to defend his position, MPP is going to defend his position. If we have a committee, the standing orders, I don't know whether they will ever allow it, but I was saying matters like this that generate a lot of national interest, we need some eminent Ghanaians to be part of it, so that at the end of the day we can trust the process, we can trust the outcome. And I believe those eminent Ghanaians, when they are part of this, would want to ensure that Ghanaians get nothing but the truth.
When you say eminent Ghanaians, which people are you looking at?
No, I don't know. There are so many eminent Ghanaians. So I think it will be up to Parliament to look into that. But let me say, for instance, in a place like Denmark, their Public Accounts Committee has members of Parliament and non-parliamentarians as part of the committee, because They say public money in Denmark is very important to the extent that you don't leave it in the hands of only politicians to examine, because when the Auditor General's report come to Parliament, you are not careful, maybe there will be some cover-ups and so on. So they have some non-MPs as part of that. I mean, one innovation that I've seen somewhere in the world. And I don't think that, given how polarized our politics is, as you had indicated, I think maybe some independent and outside kind of voices and cool heads might be able to get our parliamentarians to look into this and think about the national interests first and foremost before their usual partisan and parochial interests.
But would Parliament's current standing orders allow for that to happen?
The standing orders don't allow for that, but they are masters of their own rules. So, I mean, they always tell us that. So I believe one way or the other, if they are minded, perhaps the way could be found to look into that.
There are calls for an ad hoc committee to be set up. Others are also saying that PAC is well within PAC's right to investigate this matter. From where you sit, which committee is best suited to investigate the losses?
Well, perhaps a bipartisan, an ad hoc committee, I think, would do a better job. So that people can be drawn from the different committees of Parliament with different expertise. PAC has a very clear mandate to look at audited accounts and so on. This issue cuts across. There's people from, energy. There is expertise needed from environment. There's expertise needed from finance and so on. So an ad hoc committee that draws on these diverse expertise perhaps could do a good job. And then let's also be clear, in the last few days, the chairperson of the Public Accounts Committee has been in the news. I mean, in terms of back and forth with the GoldBod and so on. Maybe if such a committee is going to examine this issue, assuming some adverse findings come out, perhaps people will just say, oh, it's just because of the already bad blood that exists. I mean, you know how, the excessive partisan nature of the interpretation of issues in this country. So because of all this, I think an ad hoc committee would do a much better job, mainly because of the drawing of expertise from different skills in Parliament.
We are grateful for
and
your
of course,
time.
And of course, maybe skills from outside Parliament, if Parliament would master its own rules and allow for that.
We are grateful for your time. Dr. Rashid Dramani is Executive Director, Africa Center for Parliamentary Affairs.
Well, let's take you back to our earlier story about the innovation that has been announced by the Interior Minister, Mohammed Muntaka Mubarak. It is called Traffic, a new automated traffic enforcement system that, according to the minister, could be a game changer in tackling road carnage and corruption on the country's roads. Let's speak to Osei Kofuor. He's the Executive Director of Road Lines Foundation. Mr. Kofuor, welcome to the program. How significant is the rollout of this new technology in addressing Ghana's road safety crisis, especially the reckless driving and other traffic violations we continuously witness on our roads?
All right, good evening, Maxwell, and good evening to your audience. So, Traffic Tech is a game changer. That's what I'll say for starters. It's now taking away the human interface and it's replacing it with automated interfaces where when you are caught in an infringement, you don't have that opportunity to go negotiate with a human being. But there's also room at the end of it for you to, if you think you've been unfairly dealt with, you have the recourse to argue your case out in court. But before that, I'll say that yes, it's a good innovation. We have for long been losing too many lives on our roads in the country across Ghana. Last year in particular, the National Road Safety Authority recorded 2,950 deaths on our road, which apparently has been the highest in 35 years. Now, just to bring it home for us to understand clearly, we are looking at, if you were to take a hotel room that seats 100 people, if you divide it by 2,950, you are talking about 2,900 seater capacity conference rooms full of Ghanaian lives that have been lost. If you can even look at it in more critical terms, that if you take a 40-seater bus and you do the division, you're looking at 74. In just a year, we've lost 74 bus loads of lives on our streets. This is not acceptable in any way or in any country. So bringing traffic tech to come and bring some discipline to our roads, I think, is the best idea that can happen to our country.
One major concern on this country's roads is corruption and the discretion involved in stopping and penalizing motorists. How will traffic tech help reduce human interference and opportunities for corruption?
No, so traffic tech is simple. It's just technology. You infringe, for example, if you speed past a traffic light or you are speeding in a zone where the speed limit is 30 kilometers and you are doing 120, you're automatically captured on automated cameras. It is sent back to an operation room where you are processed. Your car number plate and identity is found, and immediately you get a text message telling you of your infringement and the fine you have to pay. For long, the driving culture in this country has dwindled, and we take things for granted too much. And therefore, this is going to be a wake-up call to most drivers. And I believe if you and I, being drivers, if you are fined in the course of a week, if you are fined 3 times for over speeding, you definitely want to start checking your behavior on the road and beginning to drive in accordance to the road regulations. So we've been doing a lot of education. We've been doing a lot of cautioning. I think enforcement was what was lacking, and I think enforcement has now, if they are bringing technology to take away the human interface, then I think we are on the right course now. I'm looking forward to next year by this time. I believe the MTTD are rolling this out in September this year. So I'm looking to see the statistics for next year, where I believe it would definitely decline if drivers begin to feel the pinch in terms of their own reckless behavior and the penalties they have to pay.
And beyond detecting violations and issuing penalties, what other measures do you believe must accompany traffic tech if Ghana is to significantly reduce road crashes and fatalities?
So the first thing is there should be more driver education. Or there should be more advertisements on TV, just trying to shape our behavior on what we do on the road. I see a lot of ignorance. I see a lot of people taking things for granted. I see people in a hurry just to make ends meet and therefore drive so recklessly on our road. Beyond that, I think the road itself needs a lot of improvement. We need to fix our lights on our road. Whilst you talk to one side, you need to talk to the other side of the equation. We need to also improve our road networks, our road systems. For example, road line markings on the city streets or across the country. These are all communication tools to drivers. They tell you what to do on the road. And in many cases, we don't find, they are missing. And therefore, if we are improving those, we are educating drivers and enforcement is going on alongside, then we are onto something.
Right. Thank you very much for your time this evening. Osei Kufuor is the Executive Director of Road Lines Foundation.
A key, a knife, and a 12-year-old girl running for her life. Her crime, allegedly taking what wasn't hers, and her punishment, wounds carved into her back. In the following report, we expose the hidden scars of discipline in Ghana, where 85% of children feel pain instead of love, and the law still protects the abuser. The story of a 12-year-old Akosua Mansa, whose stepmother used a key and knife to discipline her, will break your heart, but her hope for the future will inspire you. Listen to the full feature to see how SOS Children's Village is fighting back with positive parenting.
For 12-year-old Akosua Mansa, not her real name, a key became a weapon. Her stepmother accused her of stealing a key and some money. The punishment? The sharp edge of a key dragged across her back, her arms, under her armpits until she bled.
She used a key in her hands. She first slapped me a number of times till she saw blood on her hands, and then she washed her hands and then used the key to scratch my back and hands.
Neighbors intervened. Police arrested the stepmother.
I cried, and our landlord heard it. He then rushed to help. When he came, he saw the blood in my shirt and a part of the shirt torn apart.
Between 2024 and 2025, the Bono East region recorded a steady increase in child abuse reports. ASP Ama Nyako Winifred is the Bono East regional head of the Domestic Violence and Victims Support Unit, DOVSU.
As of 2024, involving purely children, we had 36, and in 2025, we had 38.
Hanswahima and Bamuhima of the Teachman Traditional Council, Nana Ama Asantua Munifie II, says when a child is abused, the wound on the body may heal, but the wound in the heart stays forever.
Scars on the body, you see them. Even that one, sometimes it can be treated. But what of the emotional abuse? When the child is traumatized, how are we going to erase it from the child's mind?
But there is hope. Traditional leaders, DOVSU and child protection agencies are now calling for stronger enforcement of existing child protection laws.
Our opinion leaders, when issues of child abuse crops out, they shouldn't interfere. They should let the law take its own course.
Approximately 3.4 million children in Ghana have experienced physical or emotional abuse. The woman who hurt Akosua is behind bars for 4 months. This story is brought to you by Joy News in partnership with SOS Children's Village, Ghana.
Lead counsel for former Chief Executive Officer of the National Signals Bureau, Kwabene Dubois, Samuel Appiah, has taken on the High Court, describing as strange the decision of the trial judge to dismiss his plea for an adjournment. He argued that since MP Kojo Opon Nkrumah has filed a repeat application to stay proceedings at the High Court, the case should be halted until the Supreme Court determines the motion on September 2nd. The prosecution, however, opposed the request. A legal affairs correspondent, Fatal Bayaga, was in court for us and is joining us in studio with more on this case. Fatal, Adu Buahi and his wife may have heaved a sigh of relief seeing their lawyers back in court today, were they not?
Absolutely, Ken. So we had indications that if their lead counsel or their lawyers had not come to court today, then it means that Adu Buahi and his wife would have to ordinarily cross-examine the fourth prosecution witness in this matter at this critical point. But they were very fortunate that they came to court, and then their lawyers, led by Samuel Appiah himself, was in court, and he did just the cross-examination of the fourth prosecution witness, Ken.
That's quite interesting there. And Appiah then made a plea to the court. What did he say?
In that plea, Ken, he wanted an adjournment, and he said that he informed the court about, an application filed by Kojo Opon Nkrumah to review the dismissal of his earlier interlocutory injunction application by the Supreme Court. So he told the court that this particular case will be heard on the 2nd of September. So he wanted the court to adjourn the proceedings today, pending the determination of that matter on the 2nd of September. But the Deputy Attorney General, Justice Shamsai, on his feet in Specialized Court 1, opposed that particular plea, explaining that since the Supreme Court had, decided on the substantive interlocutory application before it, there was no need for the court to adjourn proceedings again, and basically said that the court should dismiss that particular plea made by the defense for the case or the trial to continue. Then the trial judge, Justice Francis Appiah Chibonga, after hearing the arguments of both parties, said that he has not seen any rule that says that a case of that nature should be halted pending the determination of an application like that. And he also said, yes, even though this case was determined by a single judge, his decision was binding, and until the Supreme Court makes another decision, setting aside his earlier, decision or reversing it, the trial has to continue. And based on that, Samuel Atachia had to, cross-examine the fourth prosecution witness.
And how did he react to the decision by the court?
Yes, he said that the decision of the court was very strange because just last week, the trial judge, Francis Appiah Chibonga, said that there were two schools of thoughts. One says that stay your hands on the case until the determination is done. Another one says that hold proceedings until a higher court makes the determination. And Francis Appiah Chibonga, says that he side with the second one that says that stay proceedings until maybe a higher court determines an injunction application. So based on that, he said it was strange that the judge today would dismiss their plea for an adjournment. Take a listen to him.
Judge now makes a detour that he will not abide by the repeat application for injunction. Earlier on, he adjourned proceedings when the application for injunction was filed. Now he's turning around to say that he will not abide by the fact that the three judges should determine the injunction by reversing what the single judge did. Was strange to me. The pain of what is this case is that he wants my client to cross-examine the witness. My client is not trained to do that, and I don't want to be seen also to be defying his orders. So that is what has happened, but I believe that is unfortunate. I thought the judge will respect the fact that the three judges should determine the injunction, which was restraining him from continuing with the case. He didn't do that.
So in simple terms, does that mean that the decision of the Supreme Court compelled you to come to court today?
In fact, it was a decision of the Supreme Court coupled with the fact that Honorable Kojo Nkrumah has repeated his motion before the three judges, and I wanted to bring this to your attention. And that is what I wanted to do. And if you saw what happened, I brought it to his attention that, my lord, although the first one has been dismissed, there's a repeat application restraining you from continuing with the case. I said no, he will not respect that.
Well, Fatal Bayaga is still with me in the studio. Fatal, another case before the court today was the Buffer Stock CEO trial involving its former boss, Abdul Wahab Hanan, and his wife. What is the latest on that?
Today was scheduled for evidence in chief. That's basically the prosecution would bring as first witness, and then they themselves, I'm talking about the counsel for the prosecution, would just ask the witness a few questions before the opposing side, that's the defense, to also take turn in asking questions of the witness. But today, the lead counsel for Hanan Abdul Wahab and his wife, Faiza Winnie, were not in court. And Hanan himself was on his feet, and he told the judge that his lead counsel is currently indisposed, and that was the reason he couldn't make it to court today. And based on that, the judge adjourned the proceedings to tomorrow.
Oh, thank you very much, Fatal Bayaga. Reports to us from the courts.
You're still listening to Newsnight on Joy 99.7 FM and affiliates across the country. You can be part of the show. The WhatsApp line is 055 11 997. It's now time for business. George, your face here, George. I'm always happy to see you.
I'm also happy to see you every day.
I mean, why wouldn't you be happy to see a rich man?
You, that's Kenneth, right?
That's
Oh.
you.
Okay.
Did she mention my name?
Okay, I thought she said it was she was happy to see you. So we're all happy to see Kenneth. Well, coming up in business, Finance Minister Dr. Atufo affirms commitment to fiscal discipline despite room for more borrowing due to the reduction in the debt dynamics for the country. And government saves $500 million over shift from crude to gas in powering most of our power plants in the country. The business news on Newsnight is brought to you by MTN Business. Welcome to the new world of business. Kingdom Books and Stationery, your number one-stop shop for all your office essentials, Sinter's tanks and Pepsodent Herbal and Charcoal.
Your home could be anything you want it to be. It could be a stadium.
He's just 12 yards out. He shoots.
Oh!
Hey! What a strike! It's a goal.
Or a gaming arena.
Yes! Let's go!
Sometimes a classroom.
Madam, please, I don't understand.
All right, let's go over it again. Which part don't you understand?
The whole show.
Or it could be an office.
How many orders are ready? Okay, send them to East Legon first.
Or even a research center.
Daddy, what is the Big Bang Theory?
Wait, let me ask ChatGPT.
You can make your home anything you want it to be, because no matter the experience you want at home, MTN Fiber will power it. Get unlimited internet up to 500 megabytes per second from as low as 299 Ghana cedis. Connect your home or business today. Visit the My MTN app or dial *5057# to check fiber availability and request now.
MTN.
Who dey brush? We dey brush them. Who dey brush? We dey brush them. Brush your teeth. Brush your teeth every day and night. Slide the gems and tattoo them. Brush the gems away. England gem, we go brush them. Croatia gem, we go brush them. Panama gem, we go brush them. Figo.
Whatever the germs, brush them away with the new Pepsodent, now in limited edition World Cup packs. This advert is FDA approved.
Cast your mind back to 2022. The prices were rising. The stress was high. Every liter of fuel felt like a sacrifice. Do you remember who stepped forward first? When others were comfortable with high prices, Star Oil chose you. We cut our own profits so you could keep your AC on, keep your engines running, and keep your life moving without the heavy burden. We gave you room to breathe when things felt tight. Because of you, our star savers, we became number one. Today, the pumps are a battleground. Others are finally cutting prices because they have to. But Star Oil, we do it because we want to. Don't just chase a price, remember a friendship. We were there for you then, and with new innovations coming your way, we are here for you now. Star Oil, still quality and affordable fuels for all.
Introducing Ghana's leading pay-as-you-copy photocopier leasing company. Lease an A4, A3, heavy-duty or production machine and pay for only the copies made, or design your own payment plan. Simple and tietia. That's not all. Incredibly, toners, repairs, maintenance, follow-me printing, centralized tracking all come free of charge. Remember, financial prudence is the name of the game. Folks, forget about the expensive gimmicks and be smart. Join the hundreds of satisfied clients across all the 16 regions and every sector of the economy and save over 60% of your printing costs. Visit us at www.valexlease.com or call 0244 644048. Be prudent and lease a copier. Terms and conditions apply. Valex Lease is a wholly owned Ghanaian company. Valex Lease, affordable document management solutions.
Eno, you know what our father left us when he died?
Debts?
He left us land, Eno. But Nanayo said the land is his. The court said come back in 2031.
Hey, that's not an inheritance. That's a curse, brother.
Real Ejapadia doesn't come with disputes. At Deftraco Woodlands, a 592-acre master planned gated city in Dawenya, your inheritance is waiting. Don't leave your children a court case. Leave them Deftraco Woodlands, the Ejapadia they'll be proud of.
Visit woodlands.devtracogroup.com. Call or WhatsApp us today on 0537 675961.
Kofi, I think we need to call them.
DevTraco Woodlands, where your roots run deep.
Cover everything will cover. You and all you love. You and all you love. Cover, cover, cover. Everything will cover. You and all you love. Cover, 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 cover. You and everything you love. Holla cover you. Holla insurance covers your home, car, business and assets. You and everything you love. I love life covers you and everyone you love. I love covers you.
Hollard, we cover you.
Saswabo. Sasso, sasso, sikume tonton preko. Sasso, sasso, sikume tonton preko. Edrana drami nyebu seshe. Yeha kesiane malaria. Minya me kone me sasso spray. Every mosquito standing run away. Come on, tonton preko. Sasso, sasso, mi se come tonton preko. Come on, tonton preko. Sasso, come tonton preko. Nani shamne die demonstranko.
This advert is FDA approved.
You're welcome back to Business on Newsnight. Now, Finance Minister Dr. Attoforson has affirmed his commitment to fiscal discipline despite room for more borrowing due to the current debt dynamics. Ghana has now made some significant space for borrowing after revenue to debt servicing reduced significantly to under 20%. Speaking at a program in Accra, the Finance Minister stated that measures have been instituted to ensure that we don't get back to those dark days.
Ghana will proceed with discipline. We will not borrow simply because financing is available. The project must be economically justified, transparently procured. As we are Zone Financing Corporation, Ghana will proceed with discipline. We will not borrow simply because financing is available. Every project must be economically justified, transparently procured, and capable of supporting growth, generating revenue, and reducing costs. Any road, railway, power plant, industrial enclave, or other infrastructure financed through this corporation must improve productivity, create jobs, increase export, and strengthens Ghana's ability to repay its obligation. We will diversify our financing sources, protect debt sustainability, and avoid a return to the conditions that led to the 2022 debt crisis.
And that is Finance Minister Dr. Attoforson. Now, Minister for Energy and Green Transition John Jinapor has revealed that government saved about $500 million last year over shift from crude to gas to power the country generating plants. Speaking at the Future of Energy conference, Mr. Jinapor said that the move is part of plans to deal with the huge debts that is facing the energy sector.
Liquid fuel based to gas for our thermal plant. And last year when we did the analysis, we saved $500 million from liquid fuel to gas import substitution. And that's a huge saving that we ought to continue to work on. Financial reforms must also be matched with sound technology. Not enough to raise financing, the technology also ought to be up. And in Ghana, we've been working across to diversify our energy mix. We have hydro potential, we have thermal, and we are moving towards other forms of energy, i.e. renewable energy.
Energy and Green Transition Minister John Jinapor. Now, Goldfields has revealed the delays in announcing decision on the Takwa mine lease and its future is badly affecting the firm. Now, Goldfields is arguing the delays is also impacting on its valuation. Group Chief Executive Mike Fraser disclosed this during a conference call from South Africa on its half-year numbers.
So what we have to do is to also ensure that we protect this industry, we grow the industry, and we make it attractive for future international investment. And hopefully through the engagements that we're having with the government of Ghana, that we can demonstrate that the sector is open to both local and international participation, and that it is a source of inward investment into Ghana to ensure that the economy continues to grow.
Mike Fraser is the group chief executive of GoldBod, speaking at a conference call with journalists on its half-year numbers. Meanwhile, energy expert Samuel Bequin is taking on GoldBod over its current stance on the renewal of better mines. Mr. Bequin says that mining firm is running ahead of itself.
I think that the rules are very clear. I don't think they should be starting to say that we will use every legal, even if it includes potentially, if I'm right, courts as well. I don't think that is right at now. I think right now it is important for them to do what is right at the mine, ensure communities they have built the right social license, ensure that investment and investment benefit are clearly communicated to the citizens and the country as well. Ensure that if there is any interest from government, which is our free interest, they are paying the dividends at the right time as well. I think those are the things that could convince government and say, let me continue to give this investor the right to operate this particular mine.
Energy expert Samuel Bequin. Now, Bank of Ghana Governor Dr. Johnson Esiama has called for a stronger oversight of Ghana's virtual asset sector as the country moves to implement new laws covering that space. Speaking at the inauguration of the Virtual Asset Coordinating Committee, Dr. Esiama said that current developments in the space warrant prudent regulation.
The pace at which virtual assets and digital finance are evolving globally, this leaves us little room for a passive approach. Effective coordination, timely information sharing, and a shared commitment to safeguarding the integrity of our financial system. These will be essential if we are to build a virtual asset, an ecosystem that is safe, an ecosystem that is well regulated, and an ecosystem that is supportive of innovation and inclusion.
And that is Bank of Ghana Governor Dr. Johnson Esiama. And that's all for business on Newsnight. Kenneth, we're talking about Gemma doing the 100-meter dash for multimedia, the invitational tournament. We understand she was running for her hall at the University of Ghana, actually.
Her hall? Was she?
Actually went to KNUST. Okay. Let's do sports now, Danny K. What do you think I can do?
I knew that was impossible.
Are you serious? I'm going to
play.
play football. I already told Benaya.
You're going to play football?
Yeah.
Oh, then you've already lost. Goodness me. But the countdown is on. It's 4 days to the Joy Sports Invitational. It's happening this Saturday at the University of Ghana Stadium. Legon. It starts at 6 a.m. sharp. We'll start with a walk, and then there's aerobics, and then the fun and games will begin. So come, let's have fun, let's network, let's enjoy ourselves. It's a Joy Sports Invitational 2026. I'm just hoping and praying that God changes the mind of Gemma, because once you play, it means we are going to lose, and I don't want to be on the side of losers. But moving on, Asante Kotoko, their goalkeeper Ibrahim Danlad, he's returned to the club with added experience and maturity after spending the last 2 years away from the Porcupine Warriors. The 23-year-old is one of 12 new signings made by Kotoko during the transfer window as the club prepares for the new Ghana Premier League season.
I came here as a very young boy, and even when I was leaving, I was still young, so I was having that kind of dream that definitely I'm going to be back, and then I continue the good works for this club. I went outside the country, and the kind of experiences that I just got over there, and then even within Moisa and Kotoko, when I was here, I had my challenges and let's say the good moments as well. So a blend of all these two, definitely there's going to be a big or a lot of changes personally and also in terms of playing. So we are growing and then we are getting matured in the game and also in terms of personality.
You had new Asante Kotoko goalkeeper Ibrahim Danlad speaking there. Bring an end to sports. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Danny K. Now, at least 23 people, including children, have lost their lives after falling into abandoned illegal mining pits in the Ashanti region. The Ashanti Regional Minister, Dr. Frank Amwakohene, says 19 bodies have so far been retrieved from the abandoned pits, while 4 others remain trapped deep underground. He disclosed this during the commissioning of the new ultra-modern office complex for the Minerals Commission in Kumasi. Emmanuel Bright-Kweku reports.
Across the Ashanti region, many pits originally operated by illegal miners remain open and abandoned, posing danger to residents.
The issue of illegal mining continues to bedevil our lands.
Speaking at the commissioning of the new office complex for the Minerals Commission, Regional Minister Dr. Frank Amakohene recounted that more than 20 lives, including children, have been lost to the pits. Many of them, he says, were farmers accessing their farmlands for produce. As a result, he emphasized that the Regional Security Council, with the support from the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, has begun reclamation efforts to cover all abandoned illegal mining pits dotted across several communities.
As I stand here as head of research, within the period under review, 23 lives have been lost only because they were going to their farms and fell within pits that were left uncovered by miners within the various areas. As part of the 23 people, only 19 people have been recovered from these pits. The remaining 4 of them, we've not still been able to find their bodies. These includes 11 children whose future has been cut short because someone in his quest for money left a pit uncovered within some of these areas that leads to farmlands, among others.
Dr. Amakohene further noted that the government, in collaboration with the UK government, has erected permanent camps and structures along rivers in the region to be occupied by forest guards to safeguard the forest and water bodies. For Joy News, I am Emmanuel Bright Kweku.
Right, you're still listening to News Now here on Joy 99.7 FM. A reminder that you can be a part of this show by sending us a WhatsApp on 055 11 11 997. Let's hear what you have to say on the stories that we've been sharing with you so far. Tomorrow, giants like Ibri Girls, St. Augustine College and Our Lady of Grace must defend their territory as hungry challengers come hunting and ready to tear through the rankings and steal the spotlight. Some schools are chasing records, some are defending their territory, and others are dreaming of the upset that could change everything. That's what's going to happen in the National Science and Maths Quiz. Let's listen to them.
Octagon. Yes, octagon.
The 27 seeded schools have walked into Cape Coast knowing exactly what is at stake. One bad contest could cost them their seed, while a dominant performance could send them climbing up the rankings. But across the auditorium, the qualifiers are waiting, hungry, fearless, and ready to hunt.
We are Ahima. We gave birth to them. So we are seniors. We're showing them that we're seniors.
Going to other contests, we are going with a fear, with a ruthless mentality. So we should anticipate anything crazy.
After previously playing the role of Wesley Girls' nemesis, Abetifi Presby is back. And this time, they are promising another upset.
So the expectations must be high, yeah. Last year what we did, we must do it again. So our preparations are great so that we must do it again and again and again.
Then come the quarter-final regulars, familiar faces with a fresh hunger to go where they have never gone before.
In fact, this year, empowered by the grace of God and by the mercies bestowed upon us, is going to do something that is unprecedented, something which has never happened in the history of NSMK.
Last year's only private school semi-finalists, Our Lady of Grace, returned with unfinished business and a point to prove.
We are very confident in this contest that we are going to have, and we are very sure that we are going to make it to the finals.
For the seeded schools, tomorrow is about defending what they have earned. For the qualifiers, it's about taking what they believe is within reach, and with confidence running high on both sides, the 1/8 stage could produce more than just winners.
Interesting there. Gemma, is your school part of it?
Of course.
Oh, okay.
Of course.
I see.
St. Louis Senior High School, all the
okay.
best. Yes,
okay. All
yes.
the best to them.
Right. Let's go back to our earlier story and speak to Dr. Frank Amwakohene. He is the Ashanti Regional Minister. At least 23 people, including children, have lost their lives after falling into abandoned mining pits in the Ashanti region. Welcome to News 9's Doc. Do we know whether these mining pits belong to illegal miners?
Thank you very much. So, as part of the illegal mining fight, usually when we drive them out of the bush and all that, they leave their pits uncovered. And even many of them who have been in there for years, the act was that they just mine and then leave their pits as they are. So usually the bushes around the area overgrow and farmers fall victim to falling into these pits, among others. And especially during the rainy season and all that, what happens is that the rains fill these pits. And unfortunately, commuters and farmers on their way to farm usually fall prey to some of these death traps, if I may put it. So I think that within the third quarter during the review, we realized that we're having cases from the mining communities with regards to drowning. So we realized that we needed to intervene. So with the support of NADMO, NIMOS, the Lands Ministry and the National Security, we had to take action within these enclaves. So what we have been doing is that in these areas where the uncovered pits fall within farm areas, we support them to reclaim the areas so that we'll be able to prevent some of these avoidable deaths. Also, we have in conjunction with the military high command has been training some of the youth under the Blue Water Guard so that they are able to also serve as rescuers when issues of that nature happen within these areas, as they await whether NADMO or a regional level intervention. So basically that is the problem and the issues and the steps we have taken in rectifying them.
Is this not an indication that illegal mining activities are worsening in your region? The fact that 23 people have fallen into these abandoned illegal mining pits, and you talked about the fact that when it rains, it covers them and the farmers unknowingly fall into them.
Did you listen to your own question? How can you make that conclusion? You are saying that it is a problem of the fact that these pits that have been mined and left uncovered for years. So it doesn't mean that they are new pits. So what it means is that as we drive away illegal miners, we need to also spend time to reclaim the abandoned pits. So the conclusion as you draw is a fallacy.
We are grateful for your time. Dr. Frank Amwakohene is the Ashanti Regional Minister.
Thank you.
I know my Koliwa, I know my Koliwa. I know my Koliwa, I know my Koliwa. I know my Koliwa.
And if you hear the sound, you just know that it's time for your say. What you have been sharing with us on our various social media platforms. And Noella Karinyale is in the studio. What are people saying on social media?
Well, our listeners have been taking a bite at our stories, and Dede says, I wonder why whenever Joy FM is asking any of the NPP members questions, they bring their frustrations by raising their voices at the interviewer. They need to calm down and answer questions. That's what we Ghanaians are interested in. And also, David in Techiman says, Kenneth, I do agree perfectly with James Agalga. The probe should start from 2020 so that we have a clearer picture. This NPP hypocrisy is nauseating. You bought gold during your regime and made losses, but never called for a probe. But when it's someone else's time, there should be a probe. These people feel they are more Ghanaians than others. Samuel from Isuchwari says, good evening, Joy FM. I side with Haruna Mohammed. Come to Isuchwari and see for yourself how our farm produce like rice is kept in stock without getting buyers. Today, the government says this. Tomorrow, a different thing. September is around the corner. Our wards will go to school. Where is the money? We need answers from the government. Kofi Mensah and Teshi in Ngwa says, I like the proposal of the incoming majority leader. Any probe on the BOG's gold purchase program must start from its inception because it made losses ever since. And Kofi from New Akpalu says, Ken, the new traffic light system is good. Sounds like a brilliant idea. However, our maintenance culture may lead us to another fiasco solution to our road challenges. And Musa in Abattoir in Asawase says NPP should point out even one line or term in the IMF report where GoldBod is stated to have incurred $1.7 billion in losses. Unfortunately, they're using a snob appeal propaganda technique to whitewash the personal attacks on Sami Jemfi and create the impression that Sami should have reported the incident to the police. And Bob Charles in New Baika Bwim in Uti region says, why is the NDC always trying to fall back on the happenings in the previous NPP administration whenever their performance is questioned? Ghanaians voted and gave them the mandate, so they should go ahead and prove their worth rather than seeking answers in the performance of the NPP government. The rent and before I go, actually, I almost read it as a message. Can you imagine? But let me tell you about a trending story. So the Rent Control Department's commissioner, Frederick Opoku, has been speaking about circumstances under which a landlord may seek to evict a tenant. And one particular example has certainly got people talking. You guys want to take a wild guess?
Tell us.
Okay, so he says landlords can evict tenants who host multiple men or women in their rented apartment. Interesting, isn't it?
Very interesting, but not surprising.
So we took to the street seeking reactions, and here's what some of you told us.
Me, for instance, I'm a landlord, and I don't think it's right to be able to sack your tenant because they bring multiple girls, if it's a man, or the lady brings multiple men into the house. They are above 18 years, so they know they are left and right, so that freedom should be there.
If someone is bringing girls to your house, it doesn't mean you should sack that person, but you have to ask him or her about the girls.
Yaka say omunhwane rent yi 6 months and 3 months. Eno dwuma de omunio. Ghana how be rented that is 2 years. You all cover benfa so be na was.
Me I have multiple male friends especially, and I'm renting and you're telling me that because I'm bringing a lot of people, you are sacking me. Me, I don't agree. The landlord knows that it is multiple boyfriends that I'm bringing and he can prove it. And so for that he's standing on it to sack me, then fine.
Hey,
power to the people. But Ken, on a rather sad note,
Right.
country music legend Dolly Parton has passed away today.
Oh,
That's
so
right.
sad. The queen of country music.
I'm telling you, she was 80 years. Her family announced the news in a video posted on her official, Instagram account. And I will personally remember her for, she has an iconic catalog of 3,000 plus music.
Oh my gosh, she's a legend.
And of course, she's quite known for songs like Jolene and My Coat of Many Colors.
Oh, yeah.
So definitely we're going to end with Jolene, I guess.
We are indeed. And that's it for Newsnight this evening. Thank you very much for being a part of the show. My name is Kenneth. Gyasi.
Mine is Gemma, Appiah.
And right after Newsnight, though, we have Gig Squad and Appiah is here. Appiah, what are we talking about this evening?
Last week, our conversation was about parents guiding their wards when it comes to what they access over the internet. And we saw how our listeners were really engaging. We saw the need to continue with that discussion. So tonight, we'll be sharing more tips on how to keep the kids safe on the internet.
Do you know Dolly? Did I say Dolly? Dolly Parton. Ghanaians will say Auntie Dolly. Do you know her?
Not directly.
Of course, not directly. How will you know Dolly Parton directly? Appiah? How?
I understand what you're saying, but I should just stay tuned for our conversation tonight. Everyone must be safe.
Exactly. Don't forget to do the two this evening. Brush your teeth day and night with Pepsodent. Have a good evening.